Hi guys, it's Andy from Tech UK. Today we're giving an unboxing and overview for NZXT. This is the Phantom 240. So just before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you to NZXT for sending the Phantom 240 out for us for this unboxing and review. So looking at the box, we've got the NZXT logo up at the top with the Phantom 240, a nice image of the actual case itself on there. Turn this around and we come on to the specifications, and we've got 3 5¼ inch bays, 6 internal 3.5 or 2.5 inch bays, 7 expansion slots and screwless design. We've also got room for 2 120mm fans, of which one is included in the front. Up at the top you can fit 2 120s or 2 140mm, and at the rear we also have a 120 included, with room for another 120 down at the bottom. In terms of GPU support, without removing the hard drive cage you have 290mm available, but if you do remove that hard drive cage that can go up to a fantastic 400mm. CPU heatsink height is 160mm. Moving it around to this side again, obviously we've just got a couple of graphics. 2 USB 3.0 and HD audio right up at the top. Also it mentions again about the fans, removable hard drive cages, and includes 2 of the next generation 120mm case fans. So let's now get into the box. Okay, so this is the first look at the Phantom 240. Obviously it's in white, got a very nice side window on here with a slight slant to the actual design, which I think looks really good. It's quite a large window on there, looks really nice indeed. Obviously the Phantom range of cases from NZXT are instantly noticeable with their sort of striking design that they put on the front here, and this is definitely no exception. So obviously we've got this door on the front here, which is a push to close, so you push and open it up, and on the inside you can see the 3 5¼ inch bays and NZXT logo, and I'll see down at the bottom through the grille, hopefully you'll be able to see the 120mm fan that's on the inside. Nice amount of mesh along the front to allow for optimum airflow. Moving around to this side, not a great deal. Obviously we do have a plain side window there. Moving on to the back, we can see that we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 expansion slots, a bottom mounted PSU, a couple of holes for water cooling, and obviously room at the back there for the 120mm fan that's pre-installed. Moving on to the bottom, we can see we've got 4 rubber tip feet to stop the vibration and stop it from scratching your surface, as well as a nice mesh over the actual fan filter and the one over the PSU. Not the easiest to actually remove. Well, saying that, it does actually look to be quite easy, so I take that back. Nice mesh material, so you can then go in and clean it if you wish. Looking at the top of the case, we have got a power LED indicator on the side here, along with your power and reset switch. HD audio up at the top there, and 2 USB 3.0. And then just moving around to the back, you can see we've got the same sort of mesh that's on the front, and also you can see the actual fan slots on the inside that hold the 120 and 140mm fans. Okay, so let's now remove the side panel. You can see that we have actually got handles on the actual side here as well to make it easier to remove them. Looking at the inside of the case, you can see that we've got a nice sized window here for your CPU cooler cutout. If you do need to change out without removing the motherboard, it can handle a standard ATX motherboard or anything smaller down to a Mini-ATX motherboard. We've got a total of 1, 2, 3 cutouts here for cable management to go around the back. They aren't rubber grommeted, but they are rolled, so you're not going to cut your fingers. We've also got a couple of holes here for the front I/O cables or anything like nature that you do wish to feed through there. Turning it around slightly, you can see the 120mm fan that's pre-installed up at the top here. I'll see the black PCI slots that make it look really cool indeed. Quickly looking at the bottom around the PSU area, they're not exactly rubber. They are sort of small rubber feet that the PSU will actually sit on, and you see that you have got room there for the 120mm fan depending on your PSU length. Up at the top here you can see that we have got the toolless installation for your optical drives or any 5¼ inch bays, and the hard drive caddies themselves actually pull out from the inside. There is a bit of a sort of ridge on the outside of these cages here to stop you from pulling them out that way, so everything is sort of like done from the back. But apart from that, it's a very, very nice, clean looking interior. Just going to go and have a look at the roof a moment. So hopefully you can sort of see up at the top here, we've got the room for the two 120s or two 140s. So we'll give you a better shot of that in a moment. But that's obviously looking pretty good there indeed. Okay, so let's now remove the motherboard side and have a look at the inside of that. So the first thing that you're hopefully going to notice is how well the cable management has started just straight out of the box. Very nicely done, everything's cable tied down. Talking of that, you do have a number of different options with regards to where to cable tie things down, which is really good. In addition to that, you've got around about 17mm of clearance between the motherboard tray and the outside of the actual case, which is plentiful. Very nice amount of room. So looking at the hard drive cages, you can see they're very, very flexible indeed. You're not going to have any problems or any stiffness trying to install your hard drive into that. With regards to your SSD support, you can see that we obviously screw down on the underside of the actual SSD. Really like that implementation. Very, very nice indeed. So we'll stick that one back in there. As I've already mentioned, the large window here for the CPU cutout is always really, really good. And up at the top here, you have got room to fit your additional power to go through to your motherboard up there as well, even though it is a bit of a tight fit. So onto the removal of the top hard drive cage, we have got thumb screws, which is a nice implementation. All you need to do is just unscrew them, put them down to one side, and the actual hard drive cage itself pulls out from the front. The bottom one there is not removable, but this is the actual hard drive cage itself. Very, very solid in its construction. There's the lip that I was talking about at the front, which will not allow you to push the hard drive caddies any further or pull them out through the actual front at all. So it's a very clean look to this side of the actual case. Nice implementation with the cable ties, great cable options, removable hard drive cage with thumb screws, which is really good, and a nice window there for your CPU cooler. So overall, really, really impressed so far. So now onto the front panel. Very simple and easy to remove. I did sort of pre-remove part of it. Quite a bit of weight to the actual front panel itself, and obviously that's mainly going to be because of the actual door itself. It's very, very nice in its construction. As you can see, the actual grille mesh area there. Obviously there's no dust filtering apart from what you can actually see there. So as you can see, we've got the pre-installed 120mm NZXT fan down there. There is room to install another one, as well as obviously options here for routing the cable through as well. The only thing I would have liked to have seen is probably a little bit more of a dust filter on here. So you have got that mesh on the front, but it would have been nice just to have something over the top there, just to obviously stop any dust from getting inside the actual case. Okay, so removal of the top panel again is very simple. Just give it a nice tug. Obviously I've pre-removed that. You can see that we've got quite a lot of room on the inside of the actual roof as well. So we've got this mesh panel up at the top, but again, very, very good solid construction. Now as you can see, the cables from the actual USB and HD audio and everything like that are up at the top stay in place, which is something that I personally really like. I hate the fact that some manufacturers, when you remove the top panel, we've got all the cables that are connected still into the roof. So big thumbs up to NZXT for implementing that design. So as you can see, we've got room for two 120s or two 140s up at the top here. On the inside, you've got around about 20 centimeters of clearance here, so there could possibly be room there to either fit some slim fans and then a sort of dual radiator up at the top here. You would obviously have to measure everything, but with the amount of room that you've actually got in the roof space, I'm sure there's going to be some form of water cooling support that you're able to implement. Now that everything's open, I'm just going to go and show you the actual cables themselves. So we'll just undo this little cable tie here. You can see that everything is black with black connectors, which is really good to see. Nice implementation. The two 120mm fans that are pre-installed, you are able to use them as either a 3-pin connection or the Molex pass-through, which is provided, which again is really good to see. We've got flat black cables on the USB 3.0, so it means that they're not sort of chunky and round, so it will aid with cable management, which is good to see. and you can see that obviously the rest of the actual cables from the front, the I/O, the HD, etc. is obviously all black with black connectors. One thing you'll notice is that the only USB available on the actual case itself is via the USB 3.0. There is no USB 2.0 included. So inside the accessory box we have got a load of screws and a couple of cable ties in here. Everything on the bags is labelled, which is something that I really like, the implementation from NZXT on that. A whole host of different screws, fan screws and everything like that you may possibly need. We've also got this rather thick user guide, so let's just have a quick look at this and see how well this is laid out. It's quite a large document, and I see this is going to tell you how to actually remove the actual panels, how to go about installing the hard drives, motherboard, etc. And then on the back it tells you about the installation of fans as well as expansion cards, water cooling installation. So by the looks of things, as I was thinking, you are able to install a water cooling radiator up at the top, so I'll give you a bit more detail about that in a moment. So as you can see, we've now got the PSU connected up to the system. There's a massive amount of airflow coming from that particular fan coming out the back, and seriously I cannot hear this fan at all. I'm going to bring the microphone in. So this microphone is very good at picking up sound. Just move that to the back. It's very, very good indeed. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and basically give you a little bit more technical information, just go over a few things with you guys about the actual case and what you are capable of fitting in there, etc., and then give you my personal thoughts. So let's now quickly go over the spec and features for the Phantom 240. We have a total of 3 5¼ inch bays up at the top of the case, along with 6 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch bays as well. In terms of cooling, at the front you can fit 2 120mm fans. Up at the top you can either choose between 2 120s or 2 140s. At the rear you'll find room for one 120mm fan, and at the bottom you are able to squeeze one in depending on your PSU length. Now the two pre-installed 120mm fans are redesigned standard case fans. The 120mm FNV2 basically features updated performance and quieter operation. And I must say, standing next to the case, I definitely could not hear the actual fans going round at all. The case's dimension is 195 by 530 foot by 529mm, and it will support an ATX, Micro-ATX or Mini-ATX motherboard. On the back of the case you will find around 20 tie down points, total of 7 openings with cable management. As I mentioned, there is also 17mm of clearance between the motherboard tray and the side of the case. The hard drive cages hold 3 drives each, with the top section being removable to enable you to install a GPU with a maximum length of 400mm. Keeping this in does mean that you are limited to 290mm, but that should be perfectly adequate for the majority of GPUs on the market. It's worth mentioning that the Phantom 240 is definitely geared more towards air cooling rather than water cooling. Yes, you are able to fit a 120 all-in-one at the back. Looking at the roof, you will have to do your own measurements to see what is capable of fitting, but it is going to be a tight fit to fit anything up there. Talking of air cooling, the CPU cooler has a maximum height of 158mm. Now, as you would have seen, the case only comes with a USB 3.0 header. There's no USB 2.0 header on the actual case, which is a bit of a shame, but also at the same time we are obviously now moving more towards USB 3.0. So now on to my personal thoughts about the Phantom 240. The Phantom range of cases from NZXT are basically legendary cases, with their striking design, their protruding roof and front panels. They're instantly recognisable. Now the 240 has been brought in at the lower end of the price bracket between the Phantom ranges, and coming in at around about £50, you would probably normally expect the quality and the actual build material, the overall construction, the layout, or something to be sort of missing that's quite crucial. But what I found when reviewing the actual case is that yes, there are a couple of things missing, i.e. water cooling, rubber grommets, etc. But apart from that, the build quality is still there. The addition of the side window is just absolutely fantastic. It's crystal clear, looks really good, and obviously will show off your build inside perfectly. You've got plenty of cooling options with regards to the amount of fans that you can fit into the system. I'm not a massive fan on doors on cases, but I do admit that the 240 door looks really good. The overall finish on the white on the powder coating for the exterior of the case and also on the interior has been finished to the highest quality. And with the addition of the black PCI vented slots to mesh on the front and the roof, it really does give it a very, very sleek look. So if you are after a Midi tower case and you don't mind the protruding front and roof panels, this is definitely a fantastic choice for you. Brilliant build quality, brilliant design, fantastic internal layout, brilliant support with regards to cable management. It just simply is an outstanding case from NZXT. So we hope you liked the unboxing and overview for the Phantom 240 from NZXT. Please leave a comment down below, let me know what you think about this particular case. Just above the comment box you will find the like, dislike and also the share button, so please use them as you feel free. So again, a massive thank you to NZXT for sending the Phantom out to us for the unboxing and overview, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next video. We hope you liked our video review. If you did, then please leave a like as well as any comments or questions you may have down below. Full details and specifications on this item can be found at our website nismotech.com, along with all the links for purchasing if you wish. Also on our site you'll find our latest reviews and current giveaways, plus a lot more. We look forward to seeing you in our next review.